Welcome to the Low Country Revolutionaries, the podcast that dives deep into the heart of Charleston, South Carolina's vibrant entrepreneurial scene. I'm your host, Bill Bellott, founder of Veritas Exoscience, and each week we're spotlighting the boldest innovators from the Chucktown startup community. These are the visionaries pouring their heart and soul into the businesses that are transferring Charleston into a global hub of creativity and American ingenuity. Get ready for raw, real conversations with the trailblazers shaping our city's future. Let's dive in. I would like to welcome Lindsay Lenard. Lindsay is the co-founder and product design lead of HorseSpot and a two-time Webby Award-winning designer. She's led creative work for global advertising agencies and YC and Techstars-backed startups, bringing a rare blend of brand storytelling, product design, and startup execution. A lifelong equestrian, Lindsay is building technology that serves the community that shaped her. Welcome, Lindsay. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. So, Lindsay, what I'm reading here, I read a little bit on your site about HorseSpot, is you guys are bringing technology to the equestrian community. And sort of, it looks like you're doing the SaaS platform, which I believe is software as a service type platform to help them. So what's all that? How does that kind of work? How do you mix technology and horses together?
Yes, well, luckily I know a lot about horses and I know a lot about technology. So it's really just a fusion of both of my passions. And I've been riding horses since day one. So I've always had this lifelong dream to get back into the horse industry. I was a professional trainer in college.
Nice.
And then left the industry to work in my corporate career, working in advertising and in product design. But it's always been a goal to get back to it. And I met my husband through horseback riding because he worked in the horse show office. Okay. And he learned that that's how we met. It's really just a small world, but he learned that the technology in the horse show office was just so archaic. And so he actually was so inspired to go get a degree in software engineering just because of that. Nice.
That's really cool. So
yeah, so
that's how you guys met and everything.
Yes, that is how we met. And that is ultimately how we started our business, because we saw the pain points and knew that something better could exist out there. And with the fusion of, my design background and knowledge in horses and Christopher's background in technical engineering and the horse show office, it was just the perfect opportunity for us to join forces with his brother too. He's our third co-founder, and he comes from an accounting background. So he actually fulfills that role in HorseSpot, but he's also just a great people person. So he also helps with sales, and just the three of us together, we're like the unmatched trio that have really grown HorseSpot to be that software that serves horse show competitions.
Very nice. The sort of the three musketeers there. That's a great blend of backgrounds to really take this off. So I have to ask, it's like, so your husband wasn't like in rodeo or anything like that. He was sort of in the equestrian English riding kind of thing field like that, right?
Yes, he's not a cowboy. We both met riding in the hunter jumper scene.
Cool.
But we have expanded our business to serve multiple disciplines. And so we've learned a ton about like Western competitions, as well as other disciplines that include driving. If you've ever seen like a horse with the carts and they're racing.
Yeah.
And dressage,
yes.
Where the horses sort of like in the Olympics where they dance and they look really pretty. We've expanded to serve so many disciplines. And so even though we come from the hunter jumper world, we've learned so much and we're better horse people for it.
Yeah, and I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, but you'll know what I'm talking about. So I've actually seen the Lippenhahner horses that are very famous for the dressage and other things, and they are amazing what they can do.
Oh, yes. There's actually a famous riding school in Vienna where you can go see them live in action.
Yeah, I was
that's really cool.
Yeah, I was in France when I saw it, so it was pretty amazing. I was like, I never knew like horses could do these kind of things. So, but do you mainly do like local equestrian events in the Charleston area, or are you all over the South or all over the country? How do you guys kind of work?
Yes, so we have horse shows right in our backyard, the Sea Island series and an open show series at Mullet Hall Equestrian Center, which is right on Johns Island.
Nice.
So we definitely cover the Charleston area. But actually to date, you can find horse spot in 43 states and 3 countries.
Wow, that's amazing. And so do you guys go to all the places that are using horse spot, or do they, how does it kind of work? You guys have this, system here, but is it a self-install type thing, or do you guys go out and put it in for them? How does that kind of fit together?
Yes, we don't. Well, I'm saying yes to your question, but we actually don't have to go on site to any of these shows because everything works in the cloud. Cool. And none of our software has to be installed on a computer, in a physical sense. It's all cloud-based. And previously, our industry is known to have software providers that are server-based. And so you literally have to have somebody physically installing the software on your computer to even make updates, which is just wild to think about in this day and age. But we always find an excuse to go to these horse shows because my partner, Michael, who leads sales, he's also a certified judge. So he'll go and judge some of these horse shows. And then, for me, from a marketing perspective, I love to go to some of these shows in person too, to get coverage, maybe to roll out like a special campaign or a pop-up event. So that's really fun for me. But the beauty of it is that we don't necessarily have to be there on site.
That's amazing. So what's the, if someone's out there and they're involved in the, the equestrian, or I'll say rodeo or horseback world, what do they need to know? Why should they call you guys, and how is it going to change their life? Because, is it like, hey, you're moving from paper to, advanced technology, or what is it going to do for me kind of thing?
It is part of that, and it really does affect the competitors, the exhibitors that are showing at these competitions, but it also affects the people that are in the operational piece, the people that are actually running the horse show in the office, putting on the event. So you can think of our business as like B2B2C because we're serving competitors, but we're also serving the people that are running these horse shows. And so we ultimately sell to show organizers, and those are the people that are coming to us saying, hey, we need better software, we've been doing things by paper for so long. Or maybe they're using Google Sheets, or maybe they're using an old horse provider that's still a server-based program, and they just want to upgrade into the cloud and do something that's up to speed with 2026. So a lot of times we will get organic leads, which is really awesome, but we also do a ton of outreach on connecting with horse shows that we would love to support. So if anybody's listening and they're running horse shows, definitely talk to me, because there's ways that we can provide our software to you and different integrations no matter what discipline show that you're running.
That's really cool. So I assume you guys are able, and really through the people running the horse shows, able to give competitors better metrics on how they performed in better detail than what they could get otherwise. Is that kind of true?
It is true, and it's something that we want to build upon. So you can think of HorseSpot providing a lot of the essentials. And so what goes along with that is like a real live scoring experience.
Oh, cool.
So you can see your standings in a class. You know, you can kind of think of it like running a marathon, right? There's a bunch of runners in the race, and you might not know the final results until the competition or race day is over. And so it's kind of the same thing with a horse show. You don't have the official results until everybody in the class has competed. But we love to give like a live feed of standings and, you know, who's leading the class. And so that's really fun. And we also want to give riders analytics so they can track their performance from show to show, because right now you might know on like a personal level like how well you performed, but if you have like real data that's giving you information, that's going to help you improve, you know, probabilities and maybe tighter turns you want to take, or maybe certain approaches to a jump where maybe you might have like knocked a rail and had a fault. You definitely want to try to avoid those things. So having those data points, I think, will be really beneficial for equestrians that really nerd out about that kind of thing.
Hey, you know, sometimes it's very important. I mean, you know, I'm sure, you know, if you, and I don't know this is true, I just assume this. It's like if you're in the rodeo circuit and you're doing the barrel racing, I imagine they're very analytical about, you know, how fast am I moving from here to there? What angle am I taking? How tight my turns are? All of that kind of stuff. So I just assume that's the same thing in the equestrian world. There's somebody out there that wants to know that data.
Yes, exactly.
So that sounds really cool. What else are you guys? I mean, you mentioned sort of the hunter portion of equestrian. I don't really know much about that. I mean, when I hear hunter equestrian stuff, I'm thinking, you know, getting out on the horse and chasing a fox through the English countryside. Well, what is that, and how do you guys kind of work in that area? It sounds very interesting.
You're not too far off. There's a discipline called fox hunting, and there's also hunter paces that kind of go hand in hand with that. And that's a very traditional part of equestrian sports. Fox hunting isn't so much a competition, which is a little nice, but it's, you're not getting a ribbon, but it's very community driven. And I've actually been on one hunt in the past at Old Dominion in Virginia with Hunter's Rest Farm. And it was like an equestrian vacation that I had went on with Christopher, and it was really adventurous because you kind of get the thrill of going fast, and there's a real live chase of the fox. They're not actually hunting it, but there's a chase, and so you're really in tune with what's going on, and there's different groups based on your level. So there's first field where you take all of the jumps, and then there's second field and third field. So we were back in third field, just kind of getting a feel for it and being very new to it. And again, very adventurous and really exhilarating, but not necessarily a competition. Whereas there's hunter paces and endurance races where you can earn a ribbon and be a little bit more competitive. And then there's that term hunter jumper that I had mentioned, that is the discipline that I come from. And that's where competitions are really lively. You have, you know, like what you see in the Olympics with horses jumping over jumps in an arena. And there's different parts to that too. So there's the jumpers, which is based on speed, how fast you can go without knocking any rails down. And then there's also the hunters, which is based on the horse. If you can imagine, it's sort of like a dog show.
Right.
They rate the horse's conformation and also rate, you know, how well the horse moves. And then there's also a third part to that, which is equitation, which is judged on the rider. So your position, and how you work with the horse.
Yeah, that's hard. I've never rode English, but I've rode Western a little bit, and you know, learning how to sit on a horse and move with the horse is very difficult. At least it is for me.
Yes, and that's one thing equestrians do really well. They make it look really easy, and a lot of the basic like horsemanship rules apply to both English and Western. There are definitely nuances and things that are different, but I think we all share the same love for horses at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're great. They're I mean, they all have very unique personalities. So I have an oddball question here for you. So I was involved a long time ago with the therapeutic horseback community. So I don't know. Is that something you guys work with in horse spot? I mean, it's not really a competition, but they definitely have to manage horses, and they work with different people as far as the therapies and stuff like that. Is that something you guys have gotten into, or just something totally weird there?
It's definitely something that we support within our community. And I've volunteered before with the Charleston area therapeutic riding center, providing photography services and working with the kids. And I really love it. It's not something we provide through horseback right now, unless there's a therapeutic center that wants to come forward and, ask for our support. We would be happy to do that if they have just for fun shows. And sometimes a lot of programs will put that together where every kid gets a ribbon and it's really just for fun. So we would love to do more of that and discover more therapeutic riding centers that are putting on just for fun shows.
Oh yeah, that would be, I've never been involved with one of those, but I know what you're talking about. That would be really cool, because I know the kids and, the adults, because, they're adults that also go for the therapeutic horseback riding. They love it. I mean, it is life-changing to those folks. So I know I sort of got off on a tangent there, but no, I just wanted to ask, because really trying to figure out what is the scope of the area you service. And it sounds like you're really, anything in the equestrian space, you guys are happy to be involved with. Is that kind of correct?
Yes, if it's a competition, then we're more than happy to help. There's even, other industries that, have come to us asking for our services, dog shows, other weightlifting competitions that really don't have software to help run and manage everything. So it definitely translates into other niche sports as well. We don't have our software to be built in that adaptable of a way today. But it's definitely something to consider in the future. But again, right now we're primarily focused on equestrian sports.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So are you, all three of you, since you guys are the three musketeers, are you all native Charleston folks? Or are you from different places around the country? How did you get here?
We are originally from Chicago, and Christopher and I moved. Yes, I know. It's just wild even thinking about, the fact that I lived there for over 30 years, and it's January. I'm here in Charleston wearing a tank top right now.
Right.
And that is number one reason why we moved here. We came on vacation for 5 days and said, okay, yes, this looks like somewhere we can live. It's warm. It's beautiful. We visited downtown. We visited the Low Country.
Yeah.
We visited the coastline and went to all the beaches, and it felt like home to us. And so we packed up a U-Haul and moved to Charleston right during the pandemic. And it was really a circumstance that came out of COVID.
Yeah.
We didn't have to work downtown at our corporate offices anymore. At this time, we were still working in that scene. We hadn't started horseback yet. And so this seemed like the perfect opportunity to try something new. I had never lived anywhere else other than Chicago. And so we visited a few other areas and ultimately chose Charleston because of the culture, the coastal living, And you still get a little bit of the seasons here, which is nice. But I love to keep winter really short, coming from Chicago.
I totally get that.
Yes, and then Michael kind of followed suit because he also wanted to move somewhere warm. So he moved to Wellington, Florida, which is like the mecca of like equestrian sports.
Right. That's really cool. Yeah, me and my wife did the same thing. We moved during the pandemic in 21 down here. We were up in Washington D.C., but we've lived up in Ohio, and we've visited Chicago, and it is definitely one of the coldest places in the world in the winter.
Yes, one day it was colder there than it was in Antarctica.
I can believe it. The wind coming off of the lake and whipping down the downtown streets of Chicago will chill you beyond to the bone. So yeah, I get it. Well, that's wonderful. So how long has HorseSpot been around now?
We launched HorseSpot just a few years ago in 2023, and the first, so it hasn't been around for too long, but those, first 6 months, we really just built like an MVP version that was really basic. We really just wanted to get started, get feedback, and start to get interest, from customers and see what people want, what they need. So we built the product in a really fast way, and just continue to build and build and build. And so that led us to where we are today. We support shows across the full spectrum, from local shows all the way to FEI rated horse shows, which is considered like international and Olympic level types of competitions.
Yeah, so is your ultimate goal to be like the system that the Olympics use? You think that's going to happen?
Yeah, HorseSpot LA 2028.
There you go.
That would be wonderful. That would be a dream come true. Yeah. But as of today, we're really focused on the customers that we have today, right? Absolutely. And continuing to build. And it's always just like one baby step to the next thing. And so we have our first international client that's starting with us this year. And they're those types of clients that support those FEI international rated shows that would have horses, Olympic level horses,
right,
competing in LA.
That's really cool.
So there's definitely a possibility. And I always think like, when it comes to our business and just life in general, what's the best case scenario?
Yeah.
And I always think like that the possibilities are endless, and that's definitely a dream that could come true.
It could. It absolutely could. So while we're talking about dreaming, what advice, since you guys have been doing this, it's been going really rapid, you've spread around the country and internationally, what advice would you have for other entrepreneurs out there in the Charleston area?
For people in Charleston and just anyone in general out there, I would say that luck favors the prepared.
Yeah.
And if you consistently put in the work, obsess over your customers, and prepare for each milestone, those opportunities will start to stack in your favor. And, most success stories, they don't have like this single, like, I went viral moment or this like epiphany
right.
that you all of a sudden have. It's all about these small, like incremental moments and these little wins that build up over time. And when it comes down to it, you really just have to get started, and just understand that a business does not get built overnight.
Absolutely. I totally believe all of that. That's great advice, Lindsay. And it's been a real pleasure talking to you today. It sounds really exciting what you guys are doing, and it sounds like it's only going to keep growing. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, and I'm excited for the future.
That's a wrap for this episode of the Low Country Revolutionaries. Thanks for joining us as we celebrate the fearless entrepreneurs making wave in Charleston's Chucktown Startups community. I'm Bill Bellot, and it's been an honor to share these inspiring stories with you. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs a spark of low country innovation. Until next time, keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.